Has Brock Lesnar's WWE return been scrapped? Plus, we have an update on Cody Rhodes WrestleMania 40 plans, and another ex-WWE star is making a TNA debut. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. So we talked in our first news video about the new allegations that have emerged towards Vince McMahon. If you wish to find out more, you can check out video 1 on that one. An offshoot of that comes from Fightful Select, who say, recently, Fightful reported that Brock Lesnar was to return to WWE TV. This week, Fightful learned that Royal Rumble was originally discussed as a potential target, but it was reiterated to Fightful that this was the case. But it was noted that in light of Lesnar's implied inclusion in the Vince McMahon lawsuit, that may change. We're keen to point out that Fightful's report says, in light of Lesnar's implied inclusion in the Vince McMahon lawsuit, that may change. We'll have more on that when we get it. Cody Rhodes.
Yes, Cody Rhodes. There's been a lot of talk about Cody Rhodes and him finishing the story, or maybe not finishing the story, regarding a Sports Illustrated article that went out this week that had us all scratching our heads a little bit. However, right, so yesterday, Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, he gave us a little bit of an update on what happened with the article and maybe some information that he was given and this, that, and the other.
Because those 3 matches sounded quite intriguing, didn't they?
They sounded intriguing, and although sort of things on TV seem to be leading to other things that maybe us as wrestling fans thought we would get at WrestleMania, it sort of implied that, and these matches, you know, would still not be out of the realm of possibility for happening on WrestleMania. However, as I said before, it did leave some of us sort of scratching our heads.
So, those matches, again, in case you missed them, was Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
Yep.
Intriguing. Seth Rollins versus Gunther, who, according to this Sports Illustrated article, was going to win the Rumble.
Yes.
And CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes off the back of that banger of a promo they had on Monday.
Which is tremendous. And again, you know, that would mean that Cody wouldn't necessarily finish his story at WrestleMania 40 or headline the show. However, Fightful looked into these matches and said those close to several sources mentioned in the article said that the adjustment would be news to them. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk was the active plan at least as of last weekend, and Rollins was hopeful to be good to go for WrestleMania despite his MCL and meniscus tears. WWE officials would not confirm or deny any elements of the Sports Illustrated story, either on the record or on background, as one said it would defeat the purpose of anything playing out on their weekly TV shows, which I believe is what I sort of alluded to in terms of when we read this in the Slack chat and we were all kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Because it felt like it was being presented as almost matter of factual, but then on the other hand, it also felt like an opinion piece because it kind of contradicted what was happening on TV, but didn't at the same time. It was a strange one. It was a strange one to say the least.
Justin Barrasso's article got a lot of conversation, but he has given an update, hasn't he, on Sports Illustrated?
He did, yeah. He said, I reported what was detailed to me by previously reliable sources. It appears this was a deliberate attempt at misinformation, or misinformation that is being spread through WWE itself. I apologize for the errors in yesterday's reports. When posting these reports, the entirety of the information needs to be accurate.
Now, Fightful also spoke about the reports of Gunther winning the Rumble and facing Seth at WrestleMania. I'm not against the idea.
I don't think a lot of people
Gunther
are.
winning the Rumble.
Yeah, for sure.
They've long seen Gunther as a top talent in WWE, but were just befuddled by the detailed plans involving top angles and specific claimed results. Those we spoke to in WWE spoke highly of Sports Illustrated and the author, but said they were confused by the elements of this story. Those that we spoke to said that even if that was the plan creative, there's a great chance it could and would be altered due to the story. So, I mean, WWE love Gunther. That goes without doubt. He's now the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all the times. And I would not be shocked if in 2024 he holds a world title.
Yeah, me neither. I think he's more than deserving of it as well. Me and Adam were speaking yesterday about this too, and it'd be like the Warrior and Hogan going into WrestleMania. You know, you got Gunther with the IC Championship, you got Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight Championship. That would be an incredible thing to see. Whether that means Gunther drops it before or he relinquishes it or whatever, you know, would remain to be seen if that did happen. But I do think there's something there in terms of the story has been so focused on Cody finishing his story and also CM Punk wanting to essentially finish his story in terms of wanting to main event at WrestleMania as well. And if Gunter just comes in and absolutely just squashes that for both of them, I think it adds a nice little bit of drama to the whole scenario. But, it remains to be seen. I'm really excited because this year, more than any in the past few years, I feel like it's very exciting to see who could win because there's many, many, many potential winners.
A lot of potential winners. But what it means is in terms of Cody's story, after the reports from Sports Illustrated that said that Cody Rhodes wouldn't be finishing his story, maybe the story conclusion is back in the conversation after all.
Could be.
He might finish that bloody story, then he can buy a new book. This absolutely broke my heart yesterday when I read this. I kind of knew it was coming, but you're going to have to lead this one, Andrew, because I'm still too sad.
So WWE announced this week that Raw will obviously air on Netflix in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and other territories from January 2025. However, as a lot of us were maybe thinking, where does this leave the WWE Network? Dave Meltzer has reported on Wrestling Observer Radio and said the WWE Network itself does exist outside of the United States that will be folding at the end of the year. Netflix will pick up the content. It's unclear at this point if all of the network content will be migrated or just a selection of older shows. It's a plethora of wrestling history, is that network.
It's incredible. I use the network quite extensively. Obviously for work, it's useful because we have the Cultaholic Classic Raw, SmackDown, and Nitro reviews every week on the podcast feed. But in my leisure time, I enjoy just going back and dipping through old stuff. There's loads of things. It's a wrestling fan's dream of a platform. Okay, not perfect, admittedly. What do you mean I can't fast forward really quickly? That's fine. I'll just hold this button on the PlayStation until we get to where we want to go. That's fine. I've got 12 hours. It's not perfect, admittedly, but I'll be very sad to see it go. In terms of like it going to Netflix, and this is the thing, like. I think I said this in a video earlier this week, and I've certainly said it in other places. I can't see Netflix being clogged up with episodes of Survivor Series or Superstars from 1994.
Well, that's it.
I can't see it.
Unless maybe Netflix dedicates a section of the streaming service to just WWE in terms of they've got their own separate little sub-app or something like that.
So it's within
a catalog.
Yeah.
Within its own thing, but then like you said, can you imagine someone there watching The Notebook and then afterwards it's like, Elimination Chamber 2015. Do you want to continue watching this? Like, what? That would be very strange. However, it'd be a shame if lots of the stuff gets lost because there is hundreds upon thousands of videos and pieces of content on the network that would be such a shame if it did just go away from the internet and get lost. And this, the thing with the network is as well, $9.99. I'm sound like I'm pushing, like plugging it.
Are you on the books again?
$9.99. I'm like Michael Cole did.
Mate, Tony's going to be livid if he is just talking like this. But he won't send us our £10 a month.
But for the
TK.
But for the price it is and the amount of stuff that you get on top of like the premium live events, at least here in the UK, I think it's so good.
It's good value.
It really is good value, yeah.
Great value. It's like, it's kind on the pocket and the eyes.
It is.
This is all part of a massive announcement this week from WWE that they will be moving to Netflix, a $5 billion deal. In a Cultaholic special report on the podcast feed, we go into the weeds on this. I'm joined by Cultaholic.com's editor-in-chief, Aidan Gibbons, as well as Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics. We're joined by Fightful. We're joined by BJ Colangelo from Slash Film to talk about how this deal may very well lead to potentially the end of cable television.
Wow.
We'll talk about why that is the case. I spoke to Brian Kennison from Ohio Valley Wrestling. He's the marketing manager and the lead announcer for OVW, and I asked how Netflix affected their bottom line and how that has worked out for them. I also spoke to the guys at Hooked on Wrestling. They put on wrestling watch parties across the UK, and they're doing one tomorrow for the Royal Rumble up and down the country. Come see us at Box Park Wembley, sold out. But what this deal means, basically, if nothing changes, this kills their business.
Yeah.
This is the end of their business.
It can change a lot of things. It really can. It's, it'll be interesting to see how the landscape is next year. Just very sad to see it go.
And you can, in terms of all those people, you can hear all their voices on the Cultaholic podcast feed right now. It's a Cultaholic special report. It's free and it's waiting for you on our podcast feed. Let's move over to TNA for a final bit of news. Another former WWE name is on their way to TNA. Video promo aired last night on TNA Impact with Mustafa Ali.
Woo.
Fantastic news. The video features Ali in voiceover form initially, saying that soon TNA will be introduced to an X Factor that will introduce a different kind of change to TNA. And then the man himself pops up at the end and says, "I'm Mustafa Ali, and I approve this message."
Yes.
Come on. He shared the vignette online, calling it the next stop in the Mustafa Ali 2024 campaign. He's on a world tour. He's doing New Japan in April at the Windy City Riot event. He's doing Progress. He's just on GCW.
Mm-hmm.
He did an indie show in France recently. He's busy.
I'm so excited because, right, obviously we saw a little glimpse of this before he was released from WWE, this kind of character, but now I think it fits him even more because he can go on the tours, and he's called it the campaign tour. Like, you know, when you got presidential candidates going out there, going to different towns, different cities, trying to, you know, push their message and everything. I think that's so good.
It is.
He's such a creative boy.
Very creative boy. This weekend, this creative boy is all over your YouTube. You can check out predictions for the Royal Rumble, 9 pitches for the Royal Rumble, and live reactions tomorrow.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It feels like a really, really special one this year. We've added a little bit of spice in there as me and Adam picked some names out of a tombola for our final 4. We get little extra points if they're in there.
Ooh.
Will Tori Wilson be in the final 4 of the Royal Rumble this year?
The men's or the women's?
Either or.
Amazing.
It should be a lot of fun. And don't forget to catch Tom, Sam, Fraser, Luke as well, and Matthew, I believe.
Matthew from Botchamania. I know that guy.
As well as Frank Ottman.
Fred Ottman?
Fred Ottman.
Frank Ottman's his brother.
Of course. Tugboat, or the Shockmaster as you may know him, at Box Park, London for a Royal Rumble watch along. It's going to be good.
We can't wait to join you in the shadow of Wembley. Box Park is going to be noisy. It's going to be fun. Somebody is winning the Cultaholic quiz trophy. I was going to grab it for you, but someone's already grabbed it for me. It's on its way to Box Park, Wembley, and hopefully you are as well. And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Keys.
I love you. Bye.